the experience I said where, at 23, I like lost everything and I had to restart my entire life because that was the most defining moment I've ever had so far. And it's just really made me who I am. And it's given me the passion and the grit. And if I had not left that day, I don't know where I would be right now, and that's kind of scary when you think about that. Like one moment can just change everything in a good or bad way. And I used to look at that moment as like the worst moment of my life. It was so scary. It was so sad. I look at it totally opposite now. I look at it as like that moment was everything for me. That I finally left. I finally did it. And from that moment on, that was like freedom. I finally had freedom for myself, and I was able to start rebuilding and also getting rid of a lot of the weird stuff that I was taught and just things growing up that were pretty strange. Um, so the Love Means Business like came from my talk called The Weaponization of Love, where I talk about that moment, but also the three signs that I wish I had seen sooner that love was being used as a weapon against me. So I
Ooh.
talk about not being able to have an opinion, being isolated, and fear. Those three things were big signs my entire childhood, my entire life growing up that happened, but it took me a really long time to see them. And ironically, what made me realize that that was happening, what made me finally leave, was I fell in love. Not with my now husband. That would be such a cool story if that was the case. But no, it was my first love. And he having that relationship, getting close to his family, seeing how that dynamic, it made me realize how not normal and how upsetting mine was. Seeing that and then putting a lot of pieces together about just things that had happened my entire life, it all started to make sense.
Mm.
Between that and then one of my best friends who best friends are love too. You
Right.
have a deep love for your best friends, seeing their family and seeing how accepting they were and how just amazing they were. Made me realize I was not in a good situation. So I recognized those three things. I ended up leaving and then rebuilt my life and eventually dedicated my career, still dedicated to helping people find their voice.